How to iterate through tensors in custom loss function. I'm using Keras with TensorFlow backend. My goal is to query the batch size of the current batch in a custom loss function. This is needed to compute values of the custom loss functions which depend on the index of particular observations. I like to make this clearer given the minimum reproducible examples below. BTW. Of course I could use the batch size defined for the training procedure and plug in its value when defining the custom loss function, but there are some reasons why this can vary, especially if epoch size % batch size, epoch size modulo batch size, is unequal 0, then the last batch of an epoch has different size. I didn't found a suitable approach in Stack Overflow, especially e.g. tensor indexing in custom loss function and TensorFlow custom loss function in Keras, loop over tensor and looping over a tensor, because obviously the shape of any tensor can't be inferred when building the graph, which is the case for a loss function. Shape inference is only possible when evaluating given the data, which is only possible given the graph. Hence I need to tell the custom loss function to do something with particular elements along a certain dimension without knowing the length of the dimension. This is the same in all examples. Example 1. Nothing special without issue, no custom loss. Output omitted. This runs perfectly fine. Example 2. Nothing special, with a fairly simple custom loss. Output omitted. This runs perfectly fine. Example 3. The issue. Of course the tensor has not shape info yet, which can't be inferred when building the graph, only at training time. Hence, for I in range n, rises an error. Is there any way to perform this? The traceback of the output dash BTW. Here's my true custom loss function in case of any questions. I skipped it above for clarity and simplicity. Here's an image of the partial negative log likelihood of the Cox proportional hazards model. This is to clarify a question in the comments to avoid confusion. I don't think it is necessary to understand this in detail to answer the question.
As usual, don't loop. There are severe performance drawbacks and also bugs. Use only backend functions unless totally unavoidable. Usually it's not unavoidable. Solution for example 3. So, there is a very weird thing there. Do you really want to simply ignore half of your model's predictions? Example 3. Assuming this is true, just duplicate your tensor in the last dimension, flatten and discard half of it. You have the exact effect you want. Solution for your loss function. If you have sorted times from greater to lower, just do a cumulative sum. Warning: if you have one time per sample, you cannot train with mini batches. Batch_size equals len labels. It makes sense to have time in an additional dimension, many times per sample, as is done in recurrent and 1D conv networks. Anyway, considering your example as expressed, that is shape, samples _equal times, for y, time.
If you want to see more, please consider subscribing.